Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome. It's iCkEdMeL. Welcome back. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. And today we're going to be talking about a little bit about Kiely, just some interesting things. And then we're really going to try to focus on, if possible, this missing mother, 2-year-old daughter, and this ex-boyfriend, Nicholas, which I'm still trying to find out the connection. Okay. So level-headed told me this guy, the ex-boyfriend, is the father. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. I kind of sometimes don't like doing two topics in one, but we're going to do it for this live. Hey, what's up, everybody? I see the love in the chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And sorry for coming on kind of late. I want to pivot to doing earlier streams, but a lot of stuff I'm doing during the day, and, baby girl and school and all that stuff. So I'm trying to acclimate myself. So let's start with this. You guys can hit like. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe if you're not. So Jennifer Coffindaffer, okay, retired FBI agent, law enforcement network analyst, expert witness, eagle, and self-defense firearms instructor, and the list goes on. She had some interesting posts on Twitter, and I thought it would be interesting because it's some of the questions and things that people have pointed out, and I guess she's given some of her opinion, which it's interesting. So one of the things here, it says it's a front wheel drive vehicle, so the rear wheels would rotate freely. I don't agree that this is indicative of the car being in neutral. A lot of people have talked about this this vehicle thing, and if it's the wheels rotating. It said we should wait until the autopsy is released before more assertions are made that lead people to believe that this was more than an accident. No, the all-wheel, some people are saying all-wheel drive. I think we looked up, if I can get these people to find it for me again. Let me open up my chat. I believe the last time they confirmed it was front wheel, but let me see here. Let's see. Oh, you know what? A friend sent me that. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Okay. So while we wait for that, I'm gonna move on for that. But this was the person deleted their post apparently, or they have limited posts. But she's saying here it's a front wheel drive vehicle. I thought somewhere else somebody had sent me some information that it is front wheel. So that's that. Let me see. So they got the VIN report. It's a hybrid all-wheel. What is that? Does that mean all-wheel drive? AWD? Damn, so we're back at, so it wouldn't be spinning then, I guess. It's an AWD 4WD. Oh yeah, so I stand corrected. Let me show this post. Hybrid. So if it is all-wheel drive, then shouldn't have been rotating then, I guess. This is what I'm told. It's not, it is, it isn't, it is. I don't know. This is somebody sent me this allegedly saying that it's an all-wheel drive. It's both. You may have to turn it on. Okay. So somebody that knows about this then maybe can reach out to me, see how it works. Nah, I don't know. Is that a thing too, where some of the cars you can actually turn it on? It's optional. I got a CRV 2013 and mine is all-wheel drive. You can turn it off if you wanted. Okay, so that's another question now. Was it on? Was it off? Front axle. Oh, that's what they're telling me. Is that what they mean when they say hybrid? I had a hybrid 4-wheel drive and I could turn the 4-wheel drive on and off with a button. Oh, okay. Okay, interesting. I didn't know that. Gangster shit. All right, so this we're going to put it back into, I don't know, big question mark. I thought this was a definitive answer. Okay, the other thing here too, somebody was asking about, will the autopsy results be released? And a lot of people have been wondering this. Some people say no, it's up to the parents. Jennifer here says, I believe if there was a crime, the parents will control whether the autopsy is released, as Kiely was a minor child per California law. If the manner is determined to be an accident, I believe it is a matter of public record. I believe the manner of death will be disclosed in any event. This is her opinion. Somebody else here says, I have a CRV. Mine is not 4-wheel drive. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, now I don't even know. Let's see. It is all-wheel, but doesn't stay in all-wheel drive. It still rotates. You can turn it on and off like a push button, like a traction control. Whoa. Maybe we can look that up too to find out more about this whole, let me see, hybrid. Yeah, we're gonna have to look more into this another time, specifically that vehicle. Hers is not hybrid. Not all Hondas have that. I have no idea. So we're gonna have to look further into that then. Tamara says, I drive. Not all Hondas have that. Okay. Another thing. So another interesting post that was made. And so a lot of people have talked about this thing here that was marked off at the top. You guys may remember this section over here. And, somebody said here, what are we to think the yellow tape on that small area near the water? And so Jennifer here replied and said that was discussed early on, and for law enforcement to mark it off, something they deemed as significant was found there. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of obvious. And the thing that I want to do with that is, and I just thought maybe this was kind of interesting too. A good segue a little bit. A post on Facebook, and it says, is it possible that the vehicle traveled along the beach? I marked a possible path in red. The location of the crime scene tape was on that path. So I'm not sure why this was marked off here, but it would have been interesting. See, I don't know. Maybe we can ask our friend. I mean, I don't want her to drive down that. I don't know but it looks like potentially maybe she started going this way, the right way, and somehow came down here. I mean, that's just another possibility. Came down here and webbed off out into the beach, to the water. I don't know. These cones, let's see, go with that path. Really? Oh, where's these cones from? Hold on a second. SF footage. Let me save this picture. So I was just sent this image too, and it says that these cones go along that path. Oh, so this is to that caution area, that caution tape area. This is the same spot. It looks like it. And these cones kind of lead that way. I don't know. So some people were kind of talking about maybe that's a possibility. Maybe it wasn't from here down. Maybe it was around here through this path. Possibly. I don't even know if this is drivable. I don't know what this looks like in person. And then this is my first time seeing this. these cones here. I don't know. Wonder if that's a possible path. So another thing here, and before we get into Adventures with Purpose in the Court TV video. So this is supposedly somebody typed out the statement that Sammi had wrote, the statement that she made. Let's see, Sammi. Save it. And the lady, before reading it, says the lady in captions, it's a nice read, a statement, not just listen to it. Here is the one that made so many people defensive for Kiely and worry about the situation. And so it says, she was not being driven home and she was not driving. So, okay, at the end of the party, she was called. When I saw her, I saw she was supposed to give me a ride home because I had asked her to give me a ride home because I wanted to stay later. I then realized in the party that I believed she was drunk, and I knew she was drunk, and so I did not want her to be driving me home because I know about drunk drivers and all that. And so I figured she would be staying there or she would find a ride home because she's a smart girl. She's smart enough to know she's smart. And so I found her as I was leaving the party. I was making sure to find her, to tell her that I had another ride home and that I loved her, and I said bye, and for her to have fun at the party. And then when I left the party, we were off. We were pretty much on 89 with my ride, and she called me as I was in the car in the passenger seat, and she was like, hey, where are you? Do you still need a ride home? And I was like, no, I'm okay. Like, I'm in the car right now. I'm like getting driven home now. But Kiely did not set ride home. And I was under the impression that she would either sleep there or find another ride home. And it was not known that anybody was going to give her a ride home. She was not. When she called me, she was not in a car. I could hear the party and many people talking in the background. So, kind of an interesting thing, I guess. Still kind of, I don't know. But apparently when she got this call, which is still kind of weird because if the call happened I believe she's referring to the call at 12:36 and the party's still going, and that mass exodus of cars, according to that Instagram post, happened at like 12:30, I think they said. It seemed like the party was still going and all those people left. Why? Which is which? I mean, it's possible the party was still going, but just a mass group of people left. But it's just kind of weird. She was not in a car. I could hear the party, many people talking in the background. But maybe it's kind of like clear for some people to understand when it's written down like this. Like to actually read the statement instead of just like listening to it. Another thing too, and I hadn't seen this going around, but I did see. Slow the chat. Okay. Let me slow the chat for a second. If you guys could hit like to it, I really appreciate it. It helps out the stream, the algorithm. And we're going to be covering a news story when we're done going through some of these updates. So definitely stay tuned because that story is kind of weird and bizarre. And somebody, Levelhead, had put me in contact with somebody from the family. So we might be calling them live streaming. So I'm trying to kind of move through these parts, not take too long. And we still got to listen to Adventures with Purpose. But apparently there's some other picture that came out. I came across this pic from a party at the sanctuary, and Prosser posted to social media. Note, posted on 7/24/2022, not the night Kiely disappeared. If you zoom in, you can read the bar menu with prices, including the Sanctuary Slammer. If this was the same setup as the night in question, the lights look the same as in the party pics. It makes Sammy's statement about the two going around doing shots, drinking the same drinks, make a lot more sense to me because they were ordering them. But it brings back the question of liability. Kids bringing alcohol to a party, but selling alcohol to kids is a different story. So I guess this was circulating around. But this is from 7/24/2022, not the same night. There was also a fake Prosser video, a party, not a bunch, but some people were uploading it. That's from some party in Michigan, if I remember that correctly. We already debunked that, like, I don't know how many, a week ago or something. People are still posting the other video of these kids, where you can clearly see like a building or a structure. It's not the same place, and it's actually a different state. But you got to watch out for those, I don't know, misinformations that are out there. So this is just another one, just on a different night. And I'm not opposed to looking at a different night because maybe you can get some insight as to what goes on over there, but definitely not the same night. So interesting though. Let's see what else we got. This was just an interesting question. I'm going to read this to you guys. This is posted in the Facebook group. It says, question for those who do not believe she had an accident. Just curious. If you had not heard or read anything that Sammi said and she would have remained completely silent, do you think you would still suspect foul play? I mean, based only on what we know about where her car was found and how it was found, do you think you'd still have suspicions? So if Sammi would have never spoken, for the people that believe foul play, would you still believe foul play, or is it just based on that? And you can answer in the chat. I'm still leaning towards accident. I've been leaning towards that the entire time. Could be wrong though. Still waiting to see. I mean, hopefully they'll give us information. You know, I don't know about the autopsy. If it comes out, I don't know, or a report. Video is blurry. Should be fine. Let me check. We should be connection smooth. Accident. Should I do a poll? Okay, let me do a little quick poll. I'm not sure how I should word the poll though if I do it. I see a lot of people in the chat saying accident. Some people say foul play. The last time we did a poll, we had like almost 6,000 votes, I think, or more. And it was almost like split down the middle. Poll. Let me do a poll for, let's see. Do a little poll here. And if you guys could help me out with the likes, please get to 1,000. We're at 588. We have 1,900 people. Okay, what happened? Foul play, accident. And for the people that believe foul play, include if Sammi had never spoken, would that have changed your mind or not? I mean, I don't know how you could do that. I'm just going to do this simple poll. I don't want to like complicate shit. I'll just do that. Kind of curious to see. All right. Now this was a clip that was taken from the presser, one of the old pressers. Let's just listen in. It's a minute long.
What we know is that Kiely's car.
Let me bump it up for you guys. Volume's kind of low. Oh, I should have put undecided too. I forgot. There's some people that are just, yeah. Should put a third option, Mel, undecided. You want me to do it over? I'll do it over. While we listen to this, I'll do it over.
What we know is that Kiely's car after 12:33 a.m. has not been seen. I can tell you that. definitively. So we are following up on every lead possible. If we get information that there was a silver car matching her description seen anywhere, we're following up with that. And then, so at this point, and I think we've been very honest and open with the family of where we are at with the investigation. And there are some things that we cannot talk about because it might interfere with the investigation. But what we know is that Kiely's car after 12:33 a.m. has not been seen. I can tell you that definitively. So we are following up on every.
So after 12:33, the car has not been seen definitively, and that's when supposedly that was the last ping. It still begs the question about the 12:36 time. You know, that's the time. Maybe Sammi was off with the times. Maybe there's something, I don't know what. It's kind of weird though. Let's see.
Investigation, and there are some things that we cannot talk about because it might interfere with the investigation. But what we know is that Kiely's car after 12:33 a.m. has not been seen. I can tell you that definitively. So
before
we are following up on every lead possible. If we get information that there was a silver car matching her description seen anywhere, we're following up with that. And then, so I hope that answers your question. It's not necessarily.
All right. Let's keep it moving so we can get to the story. I'm gonna see if we can, not this stream, but another time, we can look more into this vehicle thing. Okay, another thing too, it says Adventures with Purpose won't collect reward for finding missing teen. So a lot of people have been asking this. People that watch Adventures with Purpose have said that they don't really accept rewards. It says here, the reward offered in the case of missing teen Kiely Rodni, which has climbed from $10,000 to $75,000 in the 2 weeks following her disappearance, won't go to Adventures with Purpose, the private dive team that found Kiely's body in the Prosser Creek Reservoir, not far from where she went missing. Some of the largest donations will be returned to donors. Adventures with Purpose does not accept rewards. Linda, a spokesperson for the Rodni family, she said the reward was partially funded by a GoFundMe account set up by Linda, Kiely's mother, who has raised nearly $63,000. Larger donations pledged to the reward have been returned. Okay. Law enforcement confirmed that they had not helped organize the reward and had no knowledge or involvement in how or if it would be paid. So they're saying they weren't involved with that. Kiely, well, we know all this stuff, but that was just to mention the whole thing with the GoFundMe, the reward money, refunds apparently for some of the largest donators, because I guess the GoFundMe was going towards the reward. So for people that are wondering about that. Okay. Okay, so let's listen to some of this, and then after we do the Court TV Adventures with Purpose listen, then we'll start on to the new story. So Jennifer made a post here, and it says, we need to pay attention as truth seekers, as Kiely advocates, as those who care about what happened to Kiely Rodni. This interview is eye-opening. Been hesitant to cast dispersions, waiting on the medical examiner's report, but now I'm concerned, what secrets did AWP uncover? So I haven't listened to this yet. I know people were talking about this on the internet. So let's take a listen. And yeah, if you guys can help out with the likes, let's get to 1,000. That would be amazing. Let's see here. Okay.
Truckee, California. Two special guests, lead divers who found Kiely Rodni and hosts of Adventures with Purpose. It's on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it, folks. It's absolutely amazing, the work that Doug Bishop and Nick Rinn are doing, and they are with us tonight. Guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. And first of all, let me say thank you for the work that you do and the work that you did in this case. How you feeling tonight?
We're doing okay. You know, we're focusing on what it is we're able to do, the positives that there are in this, which was to provide answers for the family and law enforcement.
Yeah, and in providing those answers, you know, it's an answer that people don't necessarily want in a case that evolves this quickly. There are other cases I know you've worked on and we'll talk about where people have been looking for answers for a long time that you can provide. So tell us, first of all, how you went about this and how you were able to get that location, find the SUV so quickly.
So basically, on our day 2 of the search, we went back to ground zero and went right into Prosser Creek Reservoir. Went to the main boat ramp, launched 2 of our search boats. Doug was operating one, I was operating the other. He went one direction, I went the other to cover waterways quicker. And about 35 minutes into the search, I went over the top of something that created a large shadow, and it stood out as if it was a man-made object. So I continued to make several passes on it to verify what I was looking at, and it looked very peculiar to me, and that, you know, possibility that it might be a vehicle. So I called Doug on the radio and got him to come over and put a second set of eyes on it. We spent about another 15, 20 minutes over the top of it, scanning it from different angles and verifying that we both agreed that it did look like a vehicle under there. So at that point, we pulled out one of our fishing magnets and a buoy and on a line, dropped it over, and sure enough, we got a hook on the metal. And at that moment, we were both convinced that we had found a vehicle.
So when you say get eyes on it, what are you putting eyes on? Describe for us exactly what you're using here at this moment.
Yeah, so we're utilizing Garmin's cutting-edge sonar technology. It's a side scan, a down image, as well as a live scope. And between the 3 sonar imagery processes, we're able to manipulate them together and get an accurate identification on the targets we're identifying on the bottom of waterways.
So how do you know, or how did you know the area to go in? What was it based upon that, hey, we should kind of get in the water in this area? Because before you're doing this, at this point, no one knows anything, right? We don't know if she drove away, if she was abducted, if she ended up in one body of water or another area. Give me your thoughts on how you focused on this particular area.
Yeah, you know, based on confidential information, you know, we began our search at a different location and sort of judge the fact that 18 agencies and 19,000 man hours were put into this lake. You know, we gave that a lot of credibility. So we started our first day at another location. Those waterways were ruled out. So coming into our second day of searching, we relied back on the tactics that we've developed here.
So that's interesting. Yeah, they actually started in a different location the first day, I guess. It wasn't like they just came the first day and got that spot. Okay.
Adventures with purpose for closing cases, and that is to start at square one, her last known location. Once we identified that as what police allegedly confirmed, which was the campground, Prosser Creek Reservoir, you know, and no longer than 35 minutes into our search there is when we discovered the vehicle.
And what can you tell us about the location where you discovered the vehicle versus where she was, the campgrounds? Is there a road that goes by? Is there anything that would lead you to say, okay, yeah, this is an area that is very, very close? And I know you have some confidential information as well. I'm not asking you to reveal that, but in terms of logistically, if you're looking at a map, if you're looking at where she was, where this party was, where you found the CRV.
Sure. So basically, this particular lake has a lot of access to the shoreline that vehicles can make it to. You know, I would say 50% of the lake, you can drive vehicles right to the water's edge. So our tactic was basically, let's just search the entire perimeter of the lake. So when we split up and just went one way and one went the other, it just so happened that along my path, it was about 35 minutes into the search when I discovered the vehicle.
Tell me about that moment for you, what that's like. when you know that there is a family that is so desperate for an answer, and you may be very close to giving them that answer?
So yeah, that's a very emotional moment, and you know, it's kind of you're in disbelief. You don't want to see what you're seeing. You know, there's all kinds of emotions going through your head, and you know, discovering it from the surface and not actually having a verification of is this the vehicle we're looking for. There's a lot of what ifs. So once we discovered it from the boats, we repositioned our mobile dive unit around to the shore that was pretty close to where we located it. And I put my dive gear on, got in the water, and went down at the buoy. And within 5 seconds, I was able to see that this, in fact, was the vehicle, verified the license plate. And then I did my 360 vehicle assessment and confirmed there was remains in the vehicle. And so then I came to the surface, told Doug, who was in the boat above me, what I'd seen. And right away, he called the family members of Kiely. And then right immediately following that, he called law enforcement to get them involved.
I don't know what making that phone call is like. I don't know how you prepare for it, but I know it's not the first time that Adventures with Purpose, Nick and Doug and everyone there has had to do that. So what was that moment like, and how do you break that news? How do you give that answer to a mom?
You know, like you touched on prior, you know, we specialize in cold cases, you know, and we're working cases and solving them that are, you know, 20, 30 years old in some instances. Families at that point have been through decades of torture of not knowing. So they're really, really welcoming on any answer whatsoever. You know, calling family and notifying them, you know, takes away all hope of their 16-year-old little girl ever driving back in the driveway. You know, coming into this, we did not want to find her. Obviously, if she was there underwater, you know, we did, because we want to provide those answers. And, you know, the longer the evidence is underwater, you know, the worse that becomes. I can tell you that within minutes of my phone call, Grandpa and Father were there on scene with us. Extremely grateful, but also extremely frustrated as well. A lot of emotions, a lot of very, very extremely strong emotions. This is a big ongoing investigation. There's still a lot of answers still out there, a lot of questions to be answered. And the FBI, the Nevada County Sheriff's Office, and the Placer County Sheriff's Office now have one of the biggest missing clues to their investigations, and should be. I fully expect a lot of very heavy stuff to come from this.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people were talking about what he meant about that, with the heavy stuff to come from this. Was it just, you know, that it's all going to be heavy, or were they implying, people are reading into it, were they implying something more? I saw a lot of that going on Twitter. We're just listening to the audio, but I put the link in the description if you want to watch it later on. Court TV interviewed Adventures with Purpose. So just listening to that before we get into the new story, which is an odd story. And I also have a family member apparently that I think we're going to be able to call. So that's why I'm trying to get through this a little bit, you know, faster paced kind of. Okay, so let's keep going on.
And should be, I fully expect a lot of very heavy stuff to come from this.
Absolutely. Wow, this is a lot to work through, a lot of emotions. Let's do this. Can you guys can stay with us. I want you to stay with us because I have more questions I want to ask you. I also want to understand, and I want the folks at home to understand the name Adventures with Purpose, some of the other work that you have done, and how they can help you as well. So Doug and Nick from Adventures with Purpose still with us. As we go to break, we're going to keep them with us, but also, folks, coming up next hour on the show. In Santa Fe County, New Mexico.
Fast forward. Okay, here we go.
With Adventures with Purpose. Okay, let's start. Everyone at home is wondering, Adventures with Purpose, if they're not familiar, YouTube channel is absolutely amazing. Go on there, folks, and you can see all the work that they've been doing.
Could be heavy and emotional, yeah.
But tell us the name. What's the significance of the name, and How are you able to do what you do, whether it's finance all of this and be able to continue?
Adventures with Purpose, we're an underwater sonar search and recovery dive team.
All right, so I'm going to leave it at that. I just wanted people to hear that part. If you want to watch the full video from Court TV, it was Vinnie Politan. I'll put the link in the description. You can go check it out after, because they explain a bit about what they do. Now, I think we can move on to this other story, which is just kind of odd and bizarre. 3 people missing, okay, since they supposedly left on this trip June 27th. So a mother named Jill Sidebotham, her 2-year-old daughter, and the ex-boyfriend Nicholas Hansen, all missing. It's kind of a weird timeline. So police released some surveillance footage on June 29th showing the family at a campsite. So June 27th, they go on this trip. And when I call a family member, they can correct me if there's something. I'm just going off of the articles. They were June 27th, they go on a trip. June 29th, police released surveillance footage showing the family at a campsite. On June 28th, Jill's family claimed her cell phone was turned off. But her fiance, so she has a fiance, the guy's name is Corey Alexander, he's 31 years old, said that he had received text messages or Facebook messages the next day after the phone was supposedly turned off, but he admitted that he wasn't sure if the text came from Jill's phone. Maybe it was somebody else. And then Jill was supposed to return home from the trip June 30th, but didn't. And then July 2nd is where they're seen at this Walmart. And this story takes place in Sanford, Maine. And okay. And I'm going to ask the dad about this because we're going to be able to get Jill's father, I believe. But from one of the articles, it said Alexander revealed that their last face-to-face meeting was about the apartment the couple was due to move into over the July 4th weekend. So he had spoken to her after all this time. So we're going to have to get some clarifications on that. And some of the weird things too. Okay, so we have Jill, the mother, Lydia, the 2-year-old, the ex-boyfriend, Nicholas, the fiance, Corey. And so Hansen, the ex-boyfriend. So what I was told is that Lydia, the 2-year-old, is with Jill and the ex-boyfriend, Nicholas. He's the father. And we'll clarify whatever we need to clarify. According to the Sun, it was revealed that Hansen, the ex-boyfriend, had quit his job after losing custody of 2 of his other kids from a previous relationship. The family was last seen driving a 2005 Volkswagen Jetta with the Maine license plate of 156-3VJ. Oh, let me get the missing flyer too. I forgot about that. And I have some videos that I can show you guys. People kind of blowing me up when I'm doing a live. It's a little hard sometimes to catch everything. So this is the missing flyer. Okay. I wish they would have put a picture of the vehicle. Maybe we can find out somewhere. Okay. Jill, 28 years old. Lydia Hansen, 2 years old. We're camping in the Phillips ME area. And we're due back in Sanford on 6:30. 6:30, that's correct. And her phone has not been active since 6:28, which is kind of weird. And they were last seen in Mexico, Maine on the afternoon of 7/1/02. So her phone wasn't active, but they were last seen after. It's kind of weird. Let me play this clip here with I think this has the video.
Desperate search for this family. This is the last known sighting of a missing couple from Maine and their toddler. These surveillance images taken from Walmart security cameras on July 2nd. Authorities say Nicholas Hansen, Jill Sidebotham, and 2-year-old Lydia Hansen were last seen by family members on June 27th in their hometown of Sanford, Maine. The family says, out of the blue, Nicholas Hansen arrived at the home to take the pair camping. Soon after, the family lost all contact. Rare for Sidebotham, who was also mother to a 10-year-old boy.
I'm not sure if maybe like we misunderstood something when she said she'd be back at that time, but I don't think that she would pull this.
In the days before they were reported missing, the trio was also recorded on surveillance video at the Coos Canyon Campground in Byron, Maine, more than 100 miles from their home. Days later, about 15 miles from the campground, the trio was spotted at a checkout at the Mexico, Maine Walmart.
So that was 7-2. So they were at the campground first.
Was also recorded on surveillance.
I don't think that she would pull this.
In the days before they were reported missing, the trio was also recorded on surveillance video at the Coos Canyon Campground in Byron, Maine, more than 100 miles from their home.
So that campground was, the footage June 29.
Days later, about 15 miles from the campground, the trio was spotted at a checkout at the Mexico, Maine Walmart.
7-2.
Sidebotham's family says the parents were no longer romantically involved, and they are now in fear for their daughter and grandchild.
Oh, I was worried as soon as my wife told me what they were doing, but I didn't think this would happen. I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't trust the guy. There have been past issues with him.
Police have not named Hansen or anyone as a suspect or person of interest in their investigation. In an interview with our Maine NBC affiliate, Hansen's sister said the years have not been kind to her brother. Kelly Hansen alleged erratic behavior fueled by alcohol use and prior trauma.
This isn't Nick, and it kills me to know that he's changed, and my niece, God forbid, is suffering because of this.
She also noted her brother had recently quit his job after finding out he'd lost custody of 2 of his other children from a previous relationship.
I'm worried. I'm worried that something bad happened. I'm worried that Nick snapped and did something stupid. I'm worried that Jill could have snapped and did something stupid.
Sanford police are now working with neighboring states for any leads. Police have said none of the images they've seen have raised any immediate fears for their well-being, but are nonetheless determined to find them. Tonight, both families crushed under the weight of so much unknown.
It's eating away at my head and my stomach and my wife's stomach and her head. And
I worry every day that nothing but the worst has happened at this point.
And George Solis joins us now in studio. So, George, what is the latest here on the investigation? Any tips, any leads?
Yeah, Savannah, Sanford police continue investigating all leads that come into this case.
Okay, so Level Headed reached out to me, and he gave me, I believe it's Jill's father. Is it Jill's father or the grandfather? The grandfather of the child? Everyone. This is Ron, Jill's father, and Lydia's grandfather. Okay, so Level Headed gave me the phone number. Let's give him a call. If you guys have questions in the chat, put them in there. Let me see the phone number he gave me. Okay. And let me mute this for a second. Okay, just bear with me for 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna dial now. See, did I dial the wrong number? Oh, I dialed the wrong number. Oops. Okay, this should be it. Let's see.
yeah, this is Ron and Connie. Just leave a message.
Okay, straight to voicemail. Let's try again. It could be, I don't know if my phone number is still coming up as spam. Let's see.
Yeah, this is Ron and Connie.
Let me try one more thing. Let me call him from the show phone number and see if that works. My Google thing might still be showing up as like spam and maybe it's being blocked. Let me give this a try. Hang on for a second, guys. Sorry.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line.
Oh, you want to call me? Okay. Okay, Ron, if you want to call in. I'm going to put the phone number for you in the chat. And I'll look out for... I mean, let me just do that. I'll put it in the chat. And you can call the show number. And let him call first, guys. 954-787-3009. And I'm going to try to see if I can look at the chat and whatever questions you guys have. Okay. 35% say foul play as far as Kiely. 38% say accident. And then 27% say undecided. I'll just give Ron a moment to call in. 954-787-3009. I'll be able to pick out your phone number too if somebody else calls, but let's let Ron call first. And just think in your mind too, because I'm already like off of watching the news clip. I'm kind of curious about what, if he can say, I don't know if he can say, what past history or troubled history did this ex-boyfriend have, Nicholas Hansen, if he's allowed to say. And of course, like one of the biggest concerns is his daughter and then grandchild. I mean, I couldn't imagine a 2-year-old just missing since June 27th, I believe. Well, they left on the trip June 27th. Is this him right here? Let's see. No, it's just a different phone number. Ron, if you're watching, if you can call in, or if not, I'll try to place a call to you. Let me try placing a call and you call it in. Let's see. Make outbound call. Let's see. Let's try that. Oh, he just called. Hold on. Oops. Okay. Is this Ron? Okay. Hi, Ron. How you doing? Thank you for calling. I'm sorry about everything you're going through. Can you tell us like what happened? Maybe take us back from the beginning. I mean, so your daughter's missing and your grandchild's missing.
Well, I guess I went to work Monday morning. Corey was here Sunday night. He went home. He had to get up and go to work. And he's here every weekend. He's even here every weekend since they've been missing. Got up in the morning and went to work. Come home. Was going to go see Lydia and Jill. When I walked into the room, noticed they weren't there. I asked my wife. She goes, "Well, they went camping." I'm like, "Camping? Where? With who?" And she said, "With Nick." And I'm like, "Well, that's weird. Why did they do that?" And she said, "I don't know. I tried to talk him out of it she didn't. There's been a couple of news outlets that said she begged her to stay home. No, I didn't beg her to stay home, but she did say, well, I don't know if it's a good idea. It's been raining. It's wet out there. Joe was like, it'll be fine. And it was quick. It was a quick pack, grab, and leave. We have almost all of Jill's clothes here, almost all of Lydia's clothes here still. There was a little pup tent that she had bought, I don't know, a month or so prior. She buys a tent every summer. She puts it out in the side yard and just sleeps out there. She loves doing it with her and Lydia and Bray, her son. Well, they're supposed to be back Wednesday, and they didn't come back Wednesday. Bray was supposed to be here Thursday, and we figured, well, maybe she forgot Bray was going to be back Thursday, or be here Thursday instead of his normal Friday. So we figured we'd wait until Friday. When she didn't show up Friday, we knew something was wrong. So we got a hold of the police. My two older daughters, Heather, she's 31, and Rita, who's 34. They went to town calling the police, and they just put the word out, wondering what was going on. We talked to the police, saying they're missing. This is nothing that she would ever do. I think, I gotta say, and I hope I'm not saying anything wrong that people would think wrong, but for his sister Kelly to say sort of a few things that she said, it's just not real.
What her
she's
sister
never
said?
met Lydia. Yeah, Kelly, Nick's sister, has never met Lydia ever. She wasn't even in Nick's life when we found out Joe was pregnant with Lydia, who will be 3 actually on September 16th. And she hadn't talked to Nick, and she hadn't talked to Jill for well over 3 years. Neither one of them. I didn't like some of what she said. I don't know if Jill snapped. I'm not sure where that's coming from. His other sister, his older sister that has custody of his 2 kids. It's not Kelly that has custody. It's an older sister. Christine, I believe her name is. She reached out to me, and she told me that she was kind of worried. He knew he hadn't had custody of his kids for well over 3 years. Well over 3 years. Because he didn't have custody of them when we found out Jill was pregnant. And so he knew he was losing custody, but he did just recently found out that he officially lost all parental rights. I'm not sure what the procedure is. I'm not sure if the older sister fully adopted them or he just lost all rights. But she has complete custody of them. And she reached out to me, and she was really nice. She goes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're going through this. I'm really worried. It bothers me where Nick's mind might be. His brother died, I believe, last year. He never showed up at the funeral. There's people that say he did, but both of his sisters say, and I heard through people about what Kelly said, but Chris herself said he wasn't there. So nobody has talked to him for over 3 years in his family. He's kind of a couch surfing, straggling guy. I mean, he was my daughter's boyfriend for a while, and I accept most everything that my daughter does. I have a very open mind. I think of myself as a pretty decent dad. I think of myself as an amazing grandfather.
Right.
And I just want my girls back so bad. We all want our girls back or know they're safe. I mean, even if this was something that Jill did that was just spur of the moment and crazy idea kind of thing, she would have contacted somebody by now. Her sisters especially. Her son especially. He's starting football. He just started practice back in football again. He's 10 years old, and I mean, she went to the games all the time. She went to practice with me when he was practicing.
Joe has a son, right? With somebody else.
Yeah. Kyle is his father, and we have an amazing relationship. I mean, we get along with Kyle really well. His fiance is the one that first got a hold of Coos King and found out that they had seen him there. So we all get along. They were really young when she had Bray, and things happened here and there, but I have absolutely total respect for Kyle and his fiance and everything they've been doing to help us. Kyle's a good dad, but he loves his mom too, and his little sister more than anything. I have pictures I submitted to some people that they didn't feel comfortable showing them because Bray was there without the permission of Kyle. But I tell you, the love that they have for each other, the age space seemed to be perfect. He knows right away that's his little sister, and he's going to take care of her, and he's going to protect her, and that's all there is to it. He can beat her up and throw her across the room into a couch, and she can chase after him and tackle him back down, and she laughs and laughs, and she's just a genuinely happy baby. You can see those pictures, that big smile on her. We just want her. We just want her back, and I'm afraid I don't know where Nick's head is. I do not know where Nick's head is.
Jill was Jill living with you guys?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And
she's pretty much always lived with us, her and Lydia.
Okay, but not Corey though. The fiance.
Oh no. Okay. Corey was getting this apartment together and everything. Right. He's got his own place and everything. And when he didn't have the apartment, he just live here. He'd come here on the weekends and stay because he loved hanging out with Bray. And he just got the apartment within the last month and a half. He's been waiting for the apartment. Housing's real tough to find up here, so he was waiting on this, and it finally come through, and he's just been working at getting it together for them to move into.
Okay, thanks. Mo was asking in the chat. She says, "Have they ever lived anywhere else? Any place they might have gone? Like the I guess the ex-boyfriend."
I know for a short time that, and the police were aware of this. They worked for a guy together, and this was before Jill was pregnant. In Casco, Maine. And I believe they've reached out to him, and he told the police that he hasn't seen them for ages. And the last boss he had left everybody to believe that he was just taking some time off. But when the police got a hold of him, they found out Nick had just sent him a text saying, "Sorry, but I'm quitting." So I don't know. There wasn't money that I know of, and she doesn't have money. She doesn't get EBT. She has Maine Care, which is I don't know what they call it in other states, but she's covered by the state medically as well as the baby. I mean, it's just.
Can I ask you something too?
It's a bizarre. Yeah, anything.
There was a Sun article that said her father Ron told Sea Coastline that a money jar containing an estimated $200 in cash that Jill kept at home is nowhere to be found after her disappearance. Is that true?
That is true. Her mom knew that she had this little jar that she kind of kept money. She always held money just in case in this one jar, and she thought it had around $200, and she couldn't find the jar anywhere.
Wow.
How long does $200 go?
Right. ASCH was asking, do they have cell phones being tracked? Any vehicle information? I mean, were you able to get some of the last locations?
There hasn't been. No, the last locations were up in the Mexico, Maine area. Unfortunately, there was, I guess about a week after they went gone or went missing, my oldest daughter, her Disney Plus, she's got the high-end plan. So Jill and Lydia in particular, love Disney Plus all the time. And she saw that there was a login and there was a movie that Lydia likes a lot, but she uses a Google Chromebook, and I think it has a built-in VPN, and it showed him being in, I think, Chicago. And at the time that we saw this login, there's just no possible way they could have been in Chicago. So they figured it was from the VPN.
Oh. And when was this? What date?
I think about a week after we reported them missing. It might have been like July. Oh, I don't even want to say for sure a date, but maybe July 5th or 10th or something like that. I wish my older daughter was here. She'd be able to tell you the exact date. She just has a log of everything that's been going on.
Okay. A few people in the chat are asking, and I think in the news video you had mentioned something about Nick's history. Is that something you can speak on, or does he have domestic violence issues or anything else?
Well, he has an aggressive edge to him when he's drinking. I'm not sure why the latest description has him at like 5'10". And if he's 5'10", I'm 6'1", and I'm not 6'1". I'm about 5'11". Mm. And I would judge him to be around 5'7", maybe 5'8". And one night when the baby was really young, she was crying. And Joe wanted to go in there and see what was wrong with the baby. And he was telling her no. And I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know he'd been drinking at the time. And this went on for a couple of minutes, and Jill's like, you need to let me get in there and find out what's wrong. If she needs a bottle, if she needs a diaper change. And he was like, no. So at that time I got up, and I went into the bedroom like, Nick, you need to let her see if the baby's okay. And he goes, no. And he just had his arms kind of folded in front of him and just looking with a frown. I wouldn't say necessarily menacing, maybe trying to be menacing. And this went on 2 or 3 times, and then finally he leaned forward and come towards me. And I guess he would call here and there, once in a while, bugging her. But he never really showed up. And then just about, I think it was about a year and a half ago. I'm not sure about these timelines. My head is swimming because of this, so excuse me if I'm getting time off wrong.
Of course not.
I had left for work. Corey was here. I left for work 6:10, like I do every morning. And when Nick was around, Nick did stay here for a while before the baby was born and stuff. I mean, it was the baby's father. So he tried to make things work. Well, he knows my work routine, and I took off. We could only figure that he was in the apartment complex across from us in the parking lot. And not 2 minutes after I had left here, he busted in through the front door and attacked Corey with a drywall hammer. And I guess a box cutter was pulled out. I didn't know anything about that until my oldest daughter, said something to me about that. And I'm like, well, I didn't know anything about a box cutter. I just know he come at him with the drywall hammer. So he does have a pending felony assault with a weapon charge.
Ooh.
And yeah, and that was for coming at, and Corey's a big dude too. I mean, Corey's jacked. He works out. I mean, he's a jacked dude. He's a great guy. My God, Corey's a great guy. If I could have a son, I'd probably special order one just like him. I mean, He's an amazing man. I love him. He's done so much. My grandkids love him. My daughter loves him. That's why I know something's wrong here. This is all speculation. But I think there was a threat made to get her out of here that morning, knowing that my wife really didn't have a way to defend herself. She's got health problems. She has a hard time walking. It's just very painful. She has neuropathy, and it's in her legs and it's in her feet, and it's really hard for her to walk around. And I think there was something said behind closed doors that my wife wasn't aware, because getting up and deciding this was like bang, bang, boom. I mean, nothing whatsoever was leading up to this that we saw.
Right.
I mean, I just felt, my God, man, we just want our girls back. We just want our girls back so bad, or know they're safe.
Right.
And that's the thing about Jill. I mean, we've all been a really open family with each other. And if this was just something that was, okay, it was stupid, I shouldn't have done this, or I decided to do this, she would call and let somebody know. I know that. I know that in my heart, that she would have called and let somebody know. And I get worried about certain things I say in social sites that are doing amazing things for our family. And all the people out there, Duchess, if you're listening to me, thank you so much. Ashley, the same. I'm sorry, I don't mean to drop things, but they're out there listening.
No, of course, go ahead.
I mean, the people, the outpouring, the thousands now, if not tens of thousands of people that are helping us. The outpouring is just absolutely so overwhelming. It fills me with hope. That's what gives me hope still. I mean, in the back of my head, I keep pushing out the bad things. And thankfully, there's enough people out there that are giving me hope and giving me support and supporting our family and trying to bring our girls home. I mean, I'm not sure what else to say. We just want them home. I miss having her sit in my lap, and she'd always put her feet in my hands. I don't know why. Weird little baby. But she loves putting her feet in my hands, and I miss feeling those little feet. I mean, it's and she just looks at me with those big blue eyes and smiles. I mean, God, 2 months, I haven't seen that. And her mom wouldn't do that to anybody in this family. Even my sisters and my stepfather and my mother or my stepmother, then none of them, she wouldn't do this to any of us. It's so frustrating, but people give me hope. Every day that I don't hear something bad, I know it's weird. It's a weird way to say this, but if I don't hear anything bad, that's a day I got through again. But I need to hear something good. We all need to hear something good. More than anything. It's eating us up. The people are putting forth so much effort, passing out flyers, going searching, getting me in contact with an amazing group and people like you that can get this out there. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
I have
please just say anything.
Yeah, I have some questions for you from the chat too, and I really appreciate your time coming on. And I mean, I hope that she's okay, and Jill and Lydia, that there's like some sort of good turnout. You guys find out what's going on. some of the questions too. Do you know, was it said what was purchased at the Walmart? I don't know if there's any relevance to that. And has she accessed money that you guys know about?
She doesn't have access to any kind of money. She does get Social Security because Jill was born, or Lydia was born premature. So I guess it's an automatic thing to give her Social Security. But there's no direct deposit. We have 2 checks sitting here. And these are checks that she uses, and she uses them wisely. Whenever she gets them, she buys clothing, and she buys special food that Lydia likes. Of course, she likes expensive food sometimes. But she puts money away, and she gets things that her daughter needs. So there is no access to money that I know of.
Okay.
Now, I don't know what Nick may have had because of any kind of stimulus money, but he's not the kind of person to save money and hold on to it, kind of thing.
Okay. Do you how long have they been broken up? Jill and Nick. Like, was it a long time ago? Recent breakup?
Oh no, they've been split up since I think since the baby was probably about 3 or 4 months old.
Okay.
So close to 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago.
Do you know why they broke up? Was there something big, anything that sticks out, or?
He punched her in the eye. He hit her in the forehead by accident one time. When they were laying down, and she goes, "Hey, watch out! Don't punch me! You know, you just elbowed me in the forehead, I guess." And I don't know what happened, but he punched her after. Again, I was not here for that. I mean, he knows I can rip him to shreds. Let me get it straight out, okay? And I'm not a violent person. I'm one of those people, man. I'm a peaceful, laid-back, old hippie style guy. But he knows. So this happened when I wasn't here, and I knew nothing about it until I got home because they didn't want to bother me. They didn't want to upset me. But he punched her in the eye, and I guess he was arrested for that, for domestic assault. I don't know what happened to that. I do believe somehow or another that it was dropped.
Wow.
And but that was when the restraining order started. He had 2 restraining orders. He wasn't allowed here. The second one allowed him supervised visitation. So my sister that lives the next town over would take Lydia for the day, and he would come over and hang out with her for a few hours once a week. And he got a new job, and he quit doing that. Just altogether quit. He didn't even try to work out a new schedule, which Lori would have been more than happy to work out with him. But he didn't try to work out a new schedule. He just gave up trying to talk to her or anything. And Jill told him, "Look, if you're not going to bother with visiting your child, I don't know what you want me to do. You're the one that has a new job. We're willing to switch visitation times. It's not a problem. My sister Lori's on disability due to rheumatoid arthritis in her hands and feet, and so she was open, but he wouldn't make any other schedules or anything like that. He just quit coming to see her. Then I guess about 2 months ago, the restraining order ended, and he showed up here to see the baby for a few hours. Took off. He come out. He thanked me. He goes, "Thank you for letting me visit Lydia. It means so much to me." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, you're her father. That's fine." And he left. And this happened twice. And so it just happened twice within the last, 2-3 months, maybe 4 months before this all went down. So it wasn't, I saw nothing going on where she was keeping in contact with him. I don't know everything Jill did. I'm not one of those guys that spy on phones or pay attention to activity, but I didn't see anything here that precipitated her just disappearing.
Okay.
And there's so many things that go against her disappearing. Her son, number one.
Right.
She loves him. She worships the ground he walks on, and him the same to her. And he loves his little sister. And she wouldn't keep him from that, and she wouldn't keep her from her big brother. There's something's not right here, and I'm hoping that we can have a good resolution, a good ending to this story.
Right.
Every day that goes by, it's 2 months now, and it's getting so hard to
2
keep
months, a long time. He's lost custody of his 2 other kids from a separate parent. He still had custody of Lydia, or no?
He never had custody of Lydia.
Okay.
He had only visitation. He was not allowed to take Lydia anywhere. And the last thing was supervised visitation until I guess this restraining order was just lifted about 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay. And do you know why he lost custody of the other kids, or anything specific?
He wasn't a good father. He wasn't a good father. He couldn't provide anything for them.
Okay.
I'm not going to say he abused them or anything, because I've never seen anything like that. I'm not going to say I ever saw him abuse his kids, because they stayed here for about 3 or 4 weeks. But he just wasn't a provider at all, and it wasn't a good situation he had his kids in, and his older sister Christine or Chris knew, and she did what had to be done. She did what had to be done, because he wasn't doing anything as a father for them. Not as a real father. Not what you and I and probably everybody out here listening would define as a father. He couldn't give them anything, and he was couch surfing with his kids.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So that's a lot of... It started out, look, can you take care of him for me? And then, like he did here, he just quit bothering to see him, quit bothering to call him, quit worrying, I guess.
Mo was asking, when is his next court date? Do you know if he had an upcoming date for court or anything like that? Or?
I do not know, because of the pandemic. It was postponed. Corey has that. I asked Corey Sunday if he knew what day that court date was supposed to be, and he didn't. He had it at home, but he didn't have it good for a specific date. But it is still coming up, and that's one of the things some people have been pushing for, is the fact that get this court date here, and if he doesn't show up, then there's a huge hurdle to get over as far as getting an Amber Alert. If he has a warrant out for his arrest, then suddenly there's a criminal side to this. So they say it will push up the pressure, and it should give... I was showing the 6 criteria for an Amber Alert, and I understand them all. And I bet there's 1 million people out there, or thousands of people, tens of thousands of people that have seen it. It's like, but my child's missing it. But I get the Amber Alert criteria. And this would be that hurdle to get over that Amber Alert.
So they're saying they don't meet the criteria.
Right now, he doesn't because she's with her mother, and there's no record of any danger with the mother. I mean, Jill has no crime record with her child or anything like that. So because of that, legally, she's not in danger because she wasn't technically kidnapped.
Wow. If I could ask, let me see here. William Russell was asking, was there any cell phone contact between the two, and are they able to track any of his cell phone activity? I don't know if you were able to access her social media, because I know the car's still missing, right? And her phone, his phone, like there's no activity going on in those devices, right?
None whatsoever. And she's had a few Facebooks because every time she gets one, she can't remember a password. So I never, unfriended any of her old Facebook pages. So I still have them. I'm able to access them. I can see the pictures. There's been no activity. So even if he found a burner phone and they're accessing Facebook, I don't know how, or if he's accessing Facebook, I don't know how.
Okay.
It's easy enough to get a new phone with a new number, and
right.
God, I mean, it's just easy to do.
Baylife was asking, did they return to the campground anytime after the Walmart? Is Walmart the last known official location that we have?
Well, yes, that's the last known location. In Coos Canyon, they didn't stay there. They went to Coos Canyon and they asked if they knew of any campgrounds that had free camping. And she sent them to a place called Angel Falls and Bald Head. As far as she knew, she may have headed towards Angel Falls and Bald Head. My daughter and a really good friend of us that immediately jumped on this and got some people together to go searching, went up there and said that there's just no way they could hit those trails with the baby. I mean, she walks, she runs, she does all kinds of things, but my daughter said that there were just so many obstacles in the way, it was almost impossible for them to get through there walking. So they didn't have any luck there, and they went up to Bald Head. They didn't have any luck there. But they kept looking. They're the ones that started with the flyers, and it's been picked up by quite a few different groups, and flyers went out. And there's no out-of-state really connections, not at all. I was born and raised in Ohio, but my daughter doesn't know my family in Ohio other than my stepmother. My father died last year, and they wouldn't. I mean, they just wouldn't go there. There's a Virginia connection, but again, the connection is pretty thin now because, people have died and we've been gone out of there she went to Virginia to visit one time in her 28 years. She was born and raised here in Maine. So there really isn't many out-of-state connections. I know Nick had a cousin down in Florida that does odd jobs here and there, but when he was contacted, he said, no, and I don't think he'd ever show up here because he owes me a lot of money. So that ended up to be a dead end. But one of these dead ends is going to have a gap in that block, and it's going to help us get to the end of this.
Let me ask you this. So there was an article, and I just thought it was kind of weird because, from what I've read, July 2nd was when they were seen at this Walmart. But Do you know when the phone was turned off? It says Jill's family claimed the phone was turned off June 28th.
That's the last time that my wife got a text from her, I believe.
Okay.
It was something about that I'm not going to be able to text you much longer. My phone's about dead. And that was it.
Okay. Because there's an article that says Alexander, which is Corey Alexander, the fiance, it says revealed that their last face-to-face meeting was about the apartment the couple was due to move in over the 4th of July weekend. I wonder do you know when that was last time Corey had spoken to Jill?
Face-to-face, you mean?
It says, yeah.
The face-to-face was the Sunday before she took off. Before the Monday she took off.
Okay, so they were supposed to move
he was here.
on the 4th of July. Over the weekend, that's when they were supposed to move.
Yes. Okay. And they have plans to do other things too. I mean, she had plans with her son to go to the fireworks. They were going to go to the ocean. And I mean, we're only about, 16 miles from the coast. So they were going to go to the ocean and hang out in wells or just watch fireworks. And there was all kinds of plans. And nothing seemed out of the ordinary. There was nothing whatsoever that seemed out of the ordinary.
I saw Sluggish Sleuth in the chat was saying that Corey didn't know about this camping trip. Is that true?
None of us did.
None
of us did. It was just like, boom.
Wow.
I mean, my wife, she said they were in the bedroom. She came out, said they're going camping, and he comes out and he says, we're going camping. And she just grabs a few things and takes off.
So she didn't take much.
Jill, are you sure you want to do this? I mean, it's been raining. I mean, you don't want the baby to get sick. We keep saying baby. She's almost 3. She's so tiny. That's why we always say baby. So she goes, no, Mom, it'll be all right. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. That's what she said. And that's kind of like Jill's, I don't want to discuss it anymore phrase. It'll be fine. Okay. And that was the last time she spoke to her.
And his phone is off, right? Have they pinged his phone, like last location or anything like that?
They pinged it, and they were up. I believe that was. It was up in that same area, the Mexico area. They pinged it the day after the last time they were able to ping Jill's phone. Okay. So and I believe that was the Tuesday or Wednesday after they went missing. And that was the last thing we heard.
Somebody else, Dre Latina, had a question, and she says here, how about activity on Easy Pass, electronic toll payment that tracks license plates on interstate from Maine to Florida? Have you heard anything about that? Has police communicated anything?
I have heard nothing about that, and I know that they're on alert for that plate. That's the strangest thing. The car, they keep saying silver. I would call it more gray. It has no sheen to it. It's somewhat beat up car, and the bumper, it's not just the bumper, it's almost like half of the back of it. I mean, the Jettas for that year were really big, and the whole bumper is like the paint peeled off of it. Someone decided to go ahead and just peel it all off, so it's the black bumper underneath. And so that stands out. There's a huge black bumper on the back of this gray Jetta.
Can we get a have you guys put a picture out of that? Like, do you have any photos of that vehicle? Like,
no, we don't. I mean, I wish we did, but why? I mean, just like there's no reason for us to have a photo of that vehicle. Although I sure wish we did now.
Okay.
But it's pretty beat up, and the car itself, it clunks, bumps, makes all kinds of noises. It's a pretty beat up car. So I'm not sure how this thing could not only survive to go for all these trips. I honest to God think he has another car somewhere, or had another car. God, I've heard from a couple of people to check waterways, check rivers, check things. I mean, I don't have a way to do that stuff. I don't have resources for that. But
And is there any official
I
searches
don't even
going
know
on?
where I would say.
Right.
I don't even know where I would tell people to go to do this. I don't have the slightest idea. The only thing I know is that they were last seen in Mexico, Maine, at a Walmart. I know in one of those pictures it looks like he's got a gun behind him.
That's what I was going to ask you. Does he carry? Do you know if he owns weapons?
As far as I know, he doesn't have any guns. But I guess he has a collection of knives. I don't know myself. He's never said that to me. But I guess he has a collection of knives. Whether he carries a gun or not, I don't think he's allowed to have a gun. I'm not sure, but I think something can happen in his past. I'm not sure if he can even carry a gun. So, no, I don't know. But when they show me the video, when the detectives show me the video, you can tell it's just the way that the shirt's moving as they're going through the store, and probably Lydia's foot kicking it. And the video I don't care a whole lot for either, because you can see where she's almost trying to pull away from him. She's super close to her mother. I mean, serious close to her mother. And everybody in the family. She's just the most lovable little thing in the world. She come up and just run and give you hugs and kisses and tell you what she's going to do, tell you where you're going to take her, tell you what you're going to do next. And she wants a Slim Jim, which is Slim Jim. She loves the mild Slim Jim like crazy. She wants one of those from Point Brand. Say, Slim Jim. I miss that, man. I miss it so bad.
Have you seen the full video, surveillance video? Like, it looks like I've only seen clips. Is there actually a full video that's been, or that's all?
I've seen some of the video. They showed it to me, so I was satisfied with it not being a gun behind the shirt. Because I was real worried about that. I was like, God, it looks like he's got a gun there. And I know he can't. I'm not sure that he's not allowed to have a gun, but I can guarantee you he would never be able to qualify for concealed weapon in the state of Maine. He just wouldn't.
Dre Latina was also...
Please, anything.
Sure. Dre Latina was wondering, also, does your daughter do you know if she has an Easy Pass device? Because you're able... She said there's a way you can contact them and they would reveal that, or it's a free to check.
She doesn't, and as far as I know, and honestly believe that Nick didn't either.
Okay.
He didn't. He just doesn't think like that.
Is it common for Nicholas and Jill to like go out places, or is this just like a rare thing that doesn't happen?
Very rare.
Okay.
Extremely rare. It was never common for them to go anywhere. When they were together, they never went anywhere. And like I said, in the early stages of this, I mean, we accepted him. He was my daughter's boyfriend, and he seemed to be okay. I mean, you make mistakes sometimes thinking about people. But yeah. No, she never took off. Only when in the early days, very early days of them being together, she would go up to Casco and do construction for somebody that Nick knew. And she'd take off for a week, come back on the weekends. But that was before she was pregnant, before she had Lydia. So that was 3.5, 4 years ago. Had to have been close to 4 years ago, because she was not pregnant yet.
Okay. Are police actually investigating this, or like what's going on? Like, is there like is there a detective you reach out to? I mean, I know there's surveillance footage that's been released, but like, are they actually actively searching, or like, is there?
Yes, they are. They are actively searching. My daughter kind of just I'm not a texter. I hate texting. I just got a cell phone 2 months ago since this all happened because I needed a phone right next to me. So she's the one that does the not social media, but it's kind of like the liaison between the detectives and myself and our family. And I tell her things. She lets the detectives know. If the detectives need to get a hold of me, they get a hold of me. They are actively searching. The FBI is on this. And they said the FBI has been notified and are on this.
Okay.
The game wardens in all of New England, all the way, and even including New York City, have been notified to be on the lookout. All local authorities. I mean, but these things come in, not necessarily teletype, but they come in, and there's a lot of things at one time. So I know maybe some of these places they have looking are like, yeah, just in case you see this couple or this car, be on the lookout. But yes, they are active and extremely active.
Okay.
It's frustrating sometimes. There's Corey right there. He's a good guy. Jeez, he's a good
this is
guy.
Corey. Okay.
Yeah, that's Corey right there.
Okay, yeah.
But they had a family get together, and his parents loved Jill, Lydia, and Bray so much too. I mean, they were like, I don't know, everybody's couples. They were just really amazing together. And he's hurting bad. I feel so bad for that guy. I mean, I feel I have my own feelings. I'm a father. I'm Lydia's grandfather. But I really feel bad too about Corey. I mean, he's like my son. I feel like he's like my son now. He's such a great guy. But I just don't see her doing this to all of us. Jill has feelings. Jill's a genuine, loving human being, and I can't see her doing this to any of us, and it scares me even more to know that. Because if she was the kind of girl was like, well, she's disappeared before, she's done this before, we've she's somewhere, so get in touch with us. This is, without a doubt, nothing she would have ever done.
Okay. Is there like a Facebook group or something you guys are doing?
There's a Facebook. There's many Facebook groups that have come up together for this.
Okay.
God, let me find out one of the main ones.
I see two of them right now.
One of them is True Crime something, and they're keeping up on things amazing. And there's another one that was initially, looking for Jill, Lydia, and Nick, that have turned the concentration on Lydia and Jill. It's not it's not that they're ignoring Nick, but it's they're really more concentrating on bringing the girls home.
Okay.
God, I don't know offhand. I would have to search around.
Oh, it's okay.
Facebook,
No, I
and
found
probably
it.
mess me all up.
Yeah, no, you're good. No worries.
But if you search around, and if you go, my name's Ron Sidebotham on Facebook. So my Facebook is public. It's always been public. There's links and there's things that I've shared on my Facebook that people can also, follow up on and see different sites that are following up on this and trying to help us out. And they've all tried to help us out. My God, man, the support is just, like I said before, it's just so overwhelming how many people have come out and said, you know, the prayers, the hugs, the eyes, the looking for. It's just amazing.
Okay, yeah, I see your Facebook.
I just want to find them.
Yeah, FBI is involved. Yes.
Yes.
Anything else you guys have? Any questions for Ron? Ron, again, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. I can't imagine and what your family's going through, or even Corey, just everybody with Jill disappearing and Lydia, and my God, in this weird situation with Nicholas.
It's rough. It's hard. She always woke up. You know what I miss? Every morning, even from upstairs, she would be down here in the kitchen, and I already heard those little feet at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. Boo, 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 run from one side of the house to the other, back and forth, and then yelling up the stairs, Grandpa, Grandma. I mean, it sounds stupid me saying it, but can you imagine how good it feels to hear that and how much I want it back? I want it back. Them big hugs, duck lip kisses, just things I miss, man.
Ron, there's somebody in the
chat. I miss really bad.
There's somebody in the chat, Selena Hope for Farm. She said that I reached out and spoke with one months ago, offered help with a huge search to help him get some amazing resources. Since I trained Ellie on trafficking here in Maine, we can help. Is there any way? How can I don't know? Have you spoken with her, or maybe we can find a way for her to contact you?
I think she has. I can. If she wants to hit me on Facebook Instant Messenger, I'll give her my phone number to get in contact with me.
Okay, so Selena, DM him if you're not able to.
I believe she may be the lady who lives in Leamington, and that's not far from me at all.
Okay. Yeah, if you can DM him, if not, email me and I'll put you in contact with him. And do you know? Have you guys spoken to Nick's family at all through this situation, or are you guys kind of just?
I don't speak to Kelly.
That's his sister.
She's a little out there. That's one of the sisters. She's a little out there, and I never spoke to Chris until she contacted me, and she was really sweet. She goes, "Look, I know you don't know me, but I'm Nick's sister that has custody of his two kids, and I just want to let you know that I'm really concerned and a little bit worried. I think Nick is kind of over the edge. I think he's kind of losing it. He knew he was going to lose his kids, but I guess somewhere within the last month or two before they went missing, it was official. And he got notification that it was official.
Okay.
So she was kind of really worried about his state of mind. And that was the older sister, not the one that you showed the video of.
Okay. There's another video too I got to show. I forgot that has. I wonder if it's the same sister or the other one that I got to show.
I don't know if there's another video of the other sister, that'd be great. I haven't ever seen that. That would be awesome. I wouldn't mind seeing it all.
Okay. I guess that's it, I think, for the chat. Yeah, thank you so much, Ron, for coming on. I really appreciate it, man. Feel free to get in touch, and thank you to the Level Headed put me in contact with you to call in. And I think there's some other people that have been covering this story as well. Thanks to those people.
Thanks to everybody, man. Thanks to everybody, and all you people in chat. Thank you so much for your support. It means more than anything in the world to us. More
Thank
than
you guys.
everything.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. Thank you so very much. And let's just bring my girls home. That's all. Let's bring the girls home. We need them. I mean, I much as I'm not a fan of his, I don't want to see anything bad happen to Nick either.
Right.
But my concern is bringing my girls home to me. So, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate
much.
it. We'll stay in touch. I'll try to follow up too. Hopefully something turns up. We can get some more attention on this. So
Well,
thank you.
you have the number that starts with 502 is the correct number. I may have been having an issue with my cell phone. So,
Okay. Yeah. 502. Got it.
I'm here.
Okay. Thank you.
Whatever phone it was you used to get a hold on me, it worked.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. Well, have
All
a
right.
good night.
Thank you.
Man, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'm
of
gonna
course.
keep watching
Thank you.
here.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
And thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Wow. So I was not expecting that at all because I set up the stream and we're just gonna cover the story. And then Levelheaded DM me. He has a channel on YouTube. And I think okay. Sluggish Gooth is the main point of contact after you posted this. Okay. So Sluggish Gooth, she's Sleuth, sorry. She's been in the chat too and answering questions and stuff. I don't know if you want to call in. If you have a couple of things you want to say. I'm gonna replay these two clips. If you want to call in Sluggish, you can. I don't want to do open calls right now though because I feel like we've gone on for a while and I want people that rewatch the stream to not have to sit we're gonna have to put timestamps. But I don't want to have make it too long. But I want to show the clips again, the news clips, and then if Sluggish, if you're still out there, if you want to call, if you have anything to say, and I don't know if you have a channel too. Sluggish Sleuth. Okay, hold on, let's see here. I want to play this video, and then there was another one that I forgot.
Family. This is the last known sighting of a missing couple from Maine and their toddler. These surveillance images taken from Walmart security cameras on July 2nd. Authorities say Nicholas Hansen, Jill Sidebotham, and 2-year-old Lydia Hansen were last seen by family members on June 27th in their hometown of Sanford, Maine. The family says, out of the blue, Nicholas Hansen arrived at the home to take the pair camping. Soon after, the family lost all contact. Rare for Sidebotham, who was also mother to a 10-year-old boy.
I'm not sure if maybe we misunderstood something when she said she'd be back.
Sighting of a missing couple from Maine and their toddler. These surveillance images taken from Walmart security cameras on.
Yeah, they aren't a couple. I should probably change the title too. What did I put in the title? A family. Yeah, they're technically their family, but yeah, not a couple though.
July 2nd. Authorities say Nicholas Hansen, Jill Sidebotham, and 2-year-old Lydia Hansen were last seen by family members on June 27th in their hometown of Sanford, Maine. The family says, out of the blue, Nicholas Hansen arrived at the home to take the pair camping. Soon after.
And I've heard of stories like this. Haven't we covered a couple of stories like this? I mean, I don't want to speak on, I don't want to say anything bad, but a couple of stories like this where somebody goes on a camping trip with a family and kids, And it's weird that this guy quit his job. Hansen quit his job after losing custody of his 2 children from a previous relationship. The guy quits the job, shows up. I don't know how. I got to look at that article again.
The family lost all contact. Rare for Sidebotham, who was also mother to a 10-year-old boy.
I'm not sure if maybe we misunderstood something when she said she'd be back at that time, but I don't.
And if that's you, hang on for a second. Sluggish Sleuth, if they're on the line, just hold on. Let me just play these clips and we'll get to you.
I don't think that she would pull this.
In the days before they were reported missing, the trio was also recorded on surveillance video at the Coos Canyon Campground in Byron, Maine, more than 100 miles from their home. Days later, about 15 miles from the campground, the trio was spotted at a checkout at the Mexico, Maine Walmart. Sidebotham's family says the parents were no longer romantically involved, and they are now in fear for their daughter and grandchild.
Oh, I was worried as soon as my wife told me what they were doing, but I didn't think this would happen. I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't trust the guy. There have been past issues with him.
Police have not named Hansen or anyone as a suspect or person of interest in their investigation. In an interview with our Maine NBC affiliate, Hansen's sister said the years have not been kind to her brother. Kelly Hansen alleged erratic behavior fueled by alcohol use and prior trauma.
This isn't Nick, and it kills me to know that he's changed, and my niece, God forbid, is suffering because of this.
She also noted her brother had recently quit his job after finding out he'd lost custody of 2 of his other children from a previous relationship.
Look at his shirt in the back.
I'm worried. I'm worried that something bad happened. I'm worried that Nick snapped and did something stupid. I'm worried that Jill could have snapped and did something stupid.
Sanford police are now working with neighboring states for any leads. Police have said none of the images they've seen have raised any immediate fears for their well-being, but are nonetheless determined to find them. Tonight, both families crushed under the weight of so much unknown.
It's eating away at my head and my stomach and my wife's stomach and her head. And
I worry every day that nothing but the worst has happened at this point.
And George Solis joins us now in studio. So, George, what is the latest
one more
here on the investigation? Any tips, any leads?
Yeah, Savannah, Sanford police continue investigating all leads that come into this case. They are working with local, state, and federal partners, going over every area this group has been seen with a fine-tooth comb, and that includes some aerial searches, too.
Damn. Still nothing. Somebody's telling me to look at the back of his shirt. Oh, is it here? Okay, let me pull up the short clip too. I forgot to play this one. And then we'll get to the phone line.
I'm not sure if maybe like we misunderstood something when she said she'd be back at that time, but I don't think that she would pull this.
Rita Lyman is the oldest of 3 siblings. Her youngest sister Jill Sidebotham from Sanford is missing. Rita says her family hasn't spoken to her in 7 days.
And I'm supposed to be the oldest, you know? I'm supposed to be the one that looks out for them, and I can't. I don't know where to go.
Police say Jill and her young daughter Lydia, along with a man named Nicholas Hansen, were camping in the town of Phillips in Franklin County. Jill's father, Ron, says they were expecting her home on Thursday.
we hadn't heard hide nor hair of her. We can't get through to her phone. Nobody's been able to get through to her phone since Tuesday.
Ron says this is not normal for her to be gone without contacting family. Ron also says the man his daughter was with, Nicholas Hansen, is the father of Lydia and the ex-boyfriend of Jill.
Oh, I was worried as soon as my wife told me what they were doing, but I didn't think this would happen. I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't trust the guy. There have been past issues.
Kind of like a recap.
Sanford police say they are not considering their disappearance suspicious at this time. For now, Ron and Jill's sisters are spreading the word of their disappearance on Facebook posts.
It's the not knowing what's going on. It just is eating away.
It's crazy. All right, let me take this call. This might be, let's see. Hello, who's this? Welcome to the show. Thanks for calling.
Hi, how are ya?
Good. Is this Sluggish Sleuth?
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much for calling in. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for covering this. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Is this your channel? So you have a channel too on YouTube, right? Sluggish Sleuth. I just subbed.
Yes.
You've been covering this story.
Thank you.
Of course. Is there anything you wanted to say with regards to, or maybe some of the questions you saw in the chat or anything like that?
I kind of just wanted to put out that, first of all, I mean, Ron is really hurting for his daughter and his granddaughter, you know, and I'm very close to Ron and I live very close, and he really needed this push. You know, we've been doing it quietly in the background. I've been covering it for almost 2 months, but, you know, I'm a little old channel, and I'm really glad that people have finally got their eyes out for them. You know, it's been 2 months now, and we've literally not had anything, you know, since the 2nd of July.
Right. I wonder why they would say so far not suspicious. I guess because they haven't seen something to lead otherwise, or they haven't seen.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, Lydia's with both her biological parents, so they're looking at, they're not deeming it suspicious.
Right.
But I mean, if you're in Maine and you go missing for 72 hours, they look for you. Even if they're not in a dangerous situation, Lydia is top priority, and she's still a child and can't make decisions for herself.
Right. Of course. And this place looks like huge. I don't know. Like, I mean, if they don't have anywhere to specifically, like the Coos Canyon campground, I mean, it just looks like a bunch of just, I don't know, trees. And vegetation. Yeah. Thick too.
It is. It's very rural here. That area is a place where people go during the winter to snowmobile. Their phone did last ping in Rangeley, Maine. They were turned off the 29th and the 28th, one right after the other. The last active movement we have from them are on the 6th and the 8th of July, and that was when they accessed their Netflix, but she has a VPN, so it ringed out in Chicago, but it doesn't mean they're there.
When was that? The Netflix?
Yeah.
What date was that?
They accessed Netflix. It was July 6th and July 8th.
That's
they
so
accessed
weird.
Netflix and put on a kids show.
Wow. When you said the phones were turned off one after another, one on the 28th and one on the 29th, do you know whose phone was turned off first?
I believe it was Jill's. She did contact her mom and say, "Hey, my phone's dying. I might not, be able to talk to you. I'll see you when I get home." They were expected home on the 30th, and they were seen on the 2nd at Mexico Walmart. There's no footage that's pointing out towards the cars, so we don't know what they left in. And while I have this on my mind, Jill always dyes her hair. Her hair is always very vibrant. It is very possible that she did dye her hair. Also, she has multiple tattoos and multiple face piercings. She would stand out in the crowd.
Okay. So this is just odd. So the ex-boyfriend Nicholas shows up to take Jill and Lydia camping, which is just not common for them to do at all, unusual. They go, and nobody in the family knew, and the fiance Corey didn't know, and they left June 27th. And June 29th, there's surveillance footage showing the family at the campsite. Then June 28th and June 29th, the phones are shut off, we believe. And then June 30th is when she was supposed to come home from the trip, but didn't. July 2nd is where they were seen at this Walmart. And then the newest thing again, the Netflix date was July, forgot, 8th you said, or what?
July 6th and July 8th.
July 6th and the 8th, her account is logged into, but it's believed that it was a VPN. It was shown in Chicago, but was probably done under a VPN, and so and it was a kids show that was put on.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. That's very weird.
And then they just vanished. There's been no sightings. There's been no contact. Everybody, I've spoken to pretty much everybody in their family, and everybody says the same thing. Jill's a loving mother. She would never leave her other son. She always was, there when she was supposed to be. She's a full-time caregiver of her mother, Claudie. She wouldn't just abandon, being able to take care of Claudie. So everything is just suspicious. I mean, Nick has a very awful background. He is not, he's a shady character, and they left within 5 minutes. So, he got there, they packed their stuff, and they were gone.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, all phones turned off seems suspicious. Yeah, Jill only took a few clothes. Not much, I guess, right?
I'm sorry, say that again?
She only took a few clothes, like the dad was, granddad, or her father, Jill's father was saying. She only took, like, very little with her.
Yeah. She took a couple pieces of clothing and a jar of change.
Okay. Michaela was asking who her son was with. You know, just
yeah, Jill's son is with her father, the father of him.
okay. All right. I think that's it then. Thank you so much for calling in. Maybe we'll be in contact and hopefully do some follow-up updates. But definitely go and show some love to Sluggish Sleuth. Appreciate it.
Thank you again. I can't repay you. Thank you.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming through. Let me just see if I missed anybody. I was really focused on this, so I kind of missed. I don't know if there was any super chats. I try to get the questions. Crystal Dawn, thank you for the super chat earlier. If used for measuring where water was. I'm not sure what that means.
I'm not sure if maybe like we misunderstood something when she said she'd be back at that time, but I don't think that she would pull this.
Rita Lyman is the oldest of 3 siblings.
Okay, there we go. Sorry. Carrie, thanks for becoming a member. Beckfist, thank you for the super chat. Spicy, thanks for the membership. Teresa, thank you for the super chat. Sinner, member for 7 months, says, shout out Common Sense. You're the best, Mel. Thank you. Tawny Lee, thank you for covering this case. Praying they're safe. Thanks. Mo, have they ever lived anywhere else? We got that question. We got that question too. William, we got that question as well. Thank you for your super chat. Duchess, thank you, Mel, for having Ron on. We're here for you, Ron. Hashtag find Lydia. Hashtag find Jill. Eric, Ryan stuff funny as F. Good on you for not entertaining it anymore. Would have been hilarious though. Thank you. Bay Life, did they return to the campground anytime after being? We got that question too. Dre Latina, we got those questions. Thank you for the super chat. Sluggish Sleuth, thank you for the super chat. Says we love you, Ron. Tracy, we got that question as well. The Facebook group, thank you. And Leslie, a few seconds ago, thank you for the super chat. Says, what was the date of the Netflix? Thanks to all of you out there keeping this alive and in social media. Prayers for a healthy return. And Ozagirl, thank you for the membership. Love you, Mel. Prayers for a safe return. Thanks. A lot of love. I appreciate it. The Lab, thanks for, I got to do a members video. I know I haven't. I had a couple in my head that I could have done. I haven't done any, but thank you, The Lab. I appreciate that. And I appreciate your conversation earlier today on the phone. Good guy, The Lab. And I think that's it. So because I was trying to follow the story myself and I was a little confused at first, but I think it kind of makes more sense. And so if you're confused, okay, Jill Sidebotham, that's the mother. Lydia is the 2-year-old daughter. Ex-boyfriend Nicholas, okay. Ron, father of Jill, which is the grandfather of Lydia. Okay, and Jill has a son with a father, Kyle. I spelled that wrong. And then Corey's the fiance. So Corey didn't know about this trip. This guy Nicholas shows up to the house, I guess, and she packs her stuff and they go on this supposed camping trip. All right. So, but yeah, we'll probably follow up on it. It's a pretty odd story. And I hope that, the family can get some answers. That jar thing was weird too. I mean, I don't know how much of a significance it is. It's kind of weird though, right? This is what I found on one of the articles. It says and Ron confirmed that this is true, that her father, Ron, told Sea Coastline that a money jar containing an estimated $200 in cash that Jill kept at home is nowhere to be found after her disappearance. And like you said, $200, it's not going to last that long. But I wonder what's up with that. Oh, Leslie, the date. Leslie says, I feel the date of the Netflix is important. What was the date, if anyone knows? Sluggish told us. I'm working on a really rough timeline right now. This is like a mess. I usually, when I take notes, I'm super messy. That's why I like when people help me out. Because I just start throwing things on the wall, and then I'll start to try to reorganize it after I throw it on the wall. But I think according to Sleuth, July 6th and July 7th was the Netflix thing. This I kind of have to reorganize up into over here, somewhere over here. Trying to kind of. Oh, this is not. Yeah, kind of. I'm gonna fix this after. I gotta make this more chronological. But I worked on like a rough, super rough timeline. Was it July 6th and the 8th? Oh, it was July 6th and 8th. Did I get it wrong? What did I put? 7th and... I put 6th and 7th. I might have heard it wrong, though. Sixth and 8th. All right, I'm going to trust the chat. Thank you. We should do a stream together where you guys just help me out with this stuff. 6th and 8th. All right, thank you. The Netflix thing is super weird because, and I was just jotting down the questions you guys were sending me too. I was live streaming. I was trying to like capture what I could because I don't want to interrupt. But yeah, the Netflix thing is suspicious too. The $200 that was taken, coin thing, and then after the disappearance and the phone shut off, somebody's logging onto the account. Okay, thank you. True Crime with Sunshine. Sluggish confirmed in private chat. The 6th and the 8th. All right, thank you. Appreciate that. That is super odd. If that's her, and the fact that there was a kids show, Netflix showed a movie recently played The Little Girl Loved to Watch. Thank you guys for confirming. All right. Well, I guess we could probably head out for tonight. Again, I appreciate the support. You can go check out Ron's Facebook page. There's Facebook groups as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming through. I'm going to have somebody work on the timestamps too, if possible, for this video. What did they buy at Walmart? I read one article said groceries, I think. I don't know what else. Some groceries. Sluggish Sleuth said, Mel, she had her laptop. Oh, okay. Yeah, Bren, it's really hard for me to focus. I don't even like talking to family. I don't like doing it on a live stream. I prefer doing it like off live because I can focus. I have a really hard time focusing while live streaming. Like I'm getting all these screens and messages. I like to be able to sit down, come up with some questions and stuff, but we take what we can take though, right? Not going to turn somebody down either. You know, take the opportunity to spread the word and have somebody come on. Ron's Facebook name is Ron Sidebotham. Let me show you the page. Sixth and the 8th. All right, man. You guys have a good night. I appreciate you. Good night. Bye. Peace. Bloop, bloop. Yeah, VPN. You can change the location. He's in the chat too. Bucky Eye in Maine. Bring my girls home, please. That's got to be scary, man. Especially for the little girl to be gone like that. And thank you for everybody that contributed in the chat with questions. Thank you for helping me out. Appreciate it. All right. Good night. Take care.